Debout là-bas, Kyle. Debout, ici. Aujourd'hui.
Game in charge, while Forest fell to a 1-0 defeat at home to Leeds. Both sides have looked to be active in the transfer window this summer in order to back their respective new managers. Liverpool have brought in World Cup winner Victor Munoz and Frenchman Jeremy Jacquet, while also being heavily linked all summer with PSG's Bradley Barcola. Their opponents today managed to bring in both Schlager and Ousmane Diomande early in the summer and have since broken their transfer record, bringing in forward Liam Delap from Chelsea. Andoni Iraola makes just 2 changes from the game at St James's Park last weekend. Alexis McAllister starts for the first time this season, replacing Ryan Gravenberch in midfield, while Victor Munoz is handed his full Liverpool debut. The Spaniard gets the nod out wide over teenager Rio Ngamoa. Oliver Glasner makes just the 1 change of his own from the league defeat to Leeds on Saturday. Schlager starts for the first time in the league as he comes in for the injured Ibrahim Songare. So for Liverpool, it's Alisson in goal, a back 4 of Kerkez, Van Dijk, Jacquet and Frimpong. Midfield 2 of McAllister and Soboslai, with Gakpo, Wirtz and Munoz supporting Isak through the middle. For Forest, it's Sells in goals, a back 3 of Jair, Milenkovic and Murillo. Midfield 4 of Aina, Schlager, McAtee and Williams, with Ndoye and Gibbs-White supporting Jesus through the middle. Liverpool host Nottingham Forest at Anfield in the Premier League lunchtime kick-off this afternoon, with both sides looking to improve on disappointing results last weekend. Liverpool drew 2-2 up at Newcastle last Sunday in Andoni Iraola's first game in charge, while Forest fell to a 1-0 defeat at home to Leeds. Both sides have looked to be active in the transfer window this summer in order to back their respective new managers. Liverpool have brought in World Cup winner Victor Munoz and Frenchman Jeremy Jacquet, while also being heavily linked all summer with PSG's Bradley Barcola. Their opponents today managed to bring in both Schlager and Ousmane Diomande early in the summer and have since broken their transfer record, bringing in forward Liam Delap from Chelsea. Andoni Iraola makes just 2 changes from the game at St James's Park last weekend. Alexis McAllister starts for the first time this season, replacing Ryan Gravenberch in midfield, while Victor Munoz is handed his full Liverpool debut. The Spaniard gets the nod out wide over teenager Rio Ngamoa. Oliver Glasner makes just the 1 change of his own from the league defeat to Leeds on Saturday. Schlager starts for the first time in the league as he comes in for the injured Ibrahim Songare. And it's a very warm welcome to this independent off-tube studio-based commentary of this Premier League fixture at Anfield between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest. The two sides have just got underway at Merseyside this afternoon, with both teams looking to improve on slightly disappointing results last weekend. Liverpool, of course, picked up that late 2-2 draw away from home against Newcastle United. That last-minute Dominic Szoboszlai penalty saving a point for Andoni Iraola's side. Forest, less fortunate. They fell to a 1-0 defeat at home against Leeds in Oliver Glasner's first game in charge, and have since lost to Leeds again at home in the EFL Cup midweek. So plenty to work on for both these two sides coming into this one. It's myself, Luke Ashurst, alongside me, Eric Stagnus, to take you through all the action of the 90 minutes. And Eric, straight away, I'm going to point out a slight tactical tweak. It looks as though Cody Gakpo's going to play over on the right-hand side for Liverpool, and Victor Munoz is going to start on this left-hand side. So a swap from the weekend, or last weekend I should say, when Gakpo played out on the left and Munoz was out on the right.
Yeah, it looks like that, and obviously Gakpo has been in the media lately, but looks like he's staying now. So yeah, Munoz is signing from Osasuna in Spanish league. Interesting to see if he can get the ball running at Liverpool. Liverpool have been so good in the past, maybe not so the last few years, but in the past to have signed players that actually hit the ground running straight away. Yeah,
absolutely. One or two changes coming into this one. Victor Munoz by Andoni Iraola. He makes his full debut this afternoon, getting his first start, having come off the bench and winning the penalty last weekend against Newcastle. The other change comes in midfield. Ryan Gravenberch drops to the bench. Alexis McAllister preferred alongside Dominic Szoboszlai. For Nottingham Forest, Oliver Glasner, just a one change from the defeat against Leeds in the league last weekend. David Schlager makes his first league start for the side. He replaces the injured Ibrahim Songray. I'll run you through the lineups in full in a moment or so. The ball just popped out to play over on the far side for a Liverpool throw to be taken by Frimpong. Liverpool, of course, in their usual home strip of all red with a white trim. Forest in their changed away strip with white shorts, white socks, and a sort of light sky blue shirt, which looks a little bit funky, I have to say, but I don't dislike it, to put it nicely. Is Szoboszlai now in possession for the Reds? We'll just knock it back to Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk now over onto the far side for Xhaka, who impressed on debut away against Newcastle. Here's Frimpong into Wirtz. Lovely return ball back to Frimpong. Isak in the box. Frimpong instead will look towards the back post where Munoz is waiting. It's overhit though from the Dutchman and straight out of play for a throw in on the near side. Lovely link-up play between Wirtz and Frimpong. Just the end product from the fullback lacking that little bit.
It's fantastic play and a brilliant give and go from Frimpong to Wirtz, but it's when you get in the position that you've got to do better than with the cross. I know it bubbles up a bit in front of him. It sort of shins it into the air after a throw-in. Very disappointing, because that was a good chance for Liverpool.
Yeah, it certainly was with Isak lurking. Has Munoz been fouled there in the middle of the park? Referee says no. Szoboszlai frustrated and out of play for a Forest throw. Referee this afternoon, Sam Barrett. And with the ball out of play, have a chance to run you through the sides. For Liverpool, it's Alisson in goal. Back four of Kerkez, Van Dijk, Xhaka and Frimpong. Midfield two of McAllister and Szoboszlai, with Gakpo, Wirtz and Munoz supporting Alexander Isak through the middle. As for Forest itself, in goal, the back three of Jair, Milenkovic and Murillo. Midfield four of Aina, Schlager, McAtee and Williams, with Ndoye and Gibbs-White supporting Igor Jesus through the middle. No room in the starting lineup for record signing Liam Delap, but he is on the bench this afternoon, having completed that £50 million move from Chelsea. So he's available on the bench for Liverpool. You've got the likes of Rio Ngamoa, Lewis Kumas, Ryan Gravenberch, Ronald Araujo, all as options as well for Andoni Iraola should they be called upon. Free kick given just inside Liverpool's half for Forest to look to try and swing into the box. Milenkovic, Jair and Murillo all up from the back. Van Dijk's got a bit of organising to do. Liverpool will look to defend this first set piece. Nico Williams, the former Liverpool man, to swing this ball presumably into the box. In fact, no, he's going to roll it square to McAtee. He'll then chip a left-footed ball towards the near side, where Milenkovic will head back towards the danger zone. McAllister will head clear, and Frimpong will give chases. Williams will go all the way back to Matt Sells. First time lofted ball over the top is a decent one from Sells towards Igor Jesus. Flag will stay down for a moment down the near side, and play will continue. Gibbs-White linking up with McAtee, then Ndoye will hit the deck. Half-hearted appeals for a foul, but nothing given by Sam Barrett, and then McAllister will clear. The fact that the flag has stayed down, Eric, says to me that was a good opportunity for Forest that they squandered.
Yeah, they certainly did. It was a long ball over top after a very disappointing free kick that went all the way back to the goalkeeper, and that it could easily have been a free one-on-one with the keeper, but it's a bit lacking in confidence maybe Forest there, because if they get a ball to Gibbs White like that, they should do better even. But Liverpool's defence terrible.
Yeah, Liverpool all over the place at the back in the early stages of this one. 5.5 minutes gone at Anfield. Independent off-tube studio-based commentary. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 0. Here's Jeremy Jacquet, ball into Florian Wirtz, holds off the challenge of Murillo well and gets the ball back of Soboslai. Flick round the corner for Munoz, can't be controlled by the Spaniard. Isak will then try and get involved, but eventually it'll be cleared and Schlager can play the ball into Ndoye. Ndoye, in fact Jesus, chip ball over the top to Ndoye. He's brought down by Jacquet. Again, referee says no foul. This time Ndoye a little bit more muted in his appeal, so it must have just been in coming together. Sam Barrett very quickly waved it away, and play will continue with Liverpool back in possession. We'll put that down to good defending from Jeremy Jacquet until we see a replay to suggest whether it should have been a foul or not. So Soboslai now though in midfield for the home side. We'll just knock it back to Jacquet once more. His second game in Liverpool colours, cross to Van Dijk, who's played considerably more in Liverpool colours. Jacquet once more. Now real press here from Forest. Liverpool being allowed to knock it from side to side. Eventually they can turn it on as Munoz picks the ball up and deep inside Forest territory. Lays it off to Kirkes. Ball was slightly behind the Hungarian, but he'll keep the ball moving as he moves it inside to Soboslai. McAllister, great ball in behind. Gakpo with a chance. Great challenge from Jair. Brilliant bit of defending. In fact, it was Nico Williams it was with the tackle. Superb from the Welsh international. And that, Eric, has saved a goal.
Absolutely. Again, I think Gakpo, if he's a bit more alert, he just needs to swing his foot to the ball and get a quick shot in. But a fantastic block from Williams there. He just read the situation and dived in front of him, because basically that had to be stopped at source, because he's 7-8 yards out. But beautifully build-up play from Liverpool, and sort of taking the game to Forest now. But Forest twice they managed to play it over the top for Liverpool. That's alarm bells for the new manager Areola, if you ask me.
Gakpo, ball into the box, looking towards Wirtz, cleared away well by McAtee, not once but twice. Gibbs White will then win the header up in the air against Kirkes, but won't win it against Van Dijk. Either of them will launch long over onto the far side for Ndoye once more. This time Frimpong gets goal side and holds him up, but he's got a bit of tracking back to do now as Schlager tries to release the Swiss international down the line once again. Again, Frimpong does well to get goal side, and Ndoye is forced back to Williams. McAtee will return the ball to the Welsh international, who once more will look towards Ndoye. Over on the far side, in line with the penalty area. Back now with Nico Williams into the midfield for McAtee. Does brilliantly well to skip away from Soboslai. McAtee now edge of the box, goes down far too soft according to Sam Barrett. Soboslai put the challenge in, and now Isak's been set free over the top. Isak battling away with Jair. Good challenge comes in from the 21-year-old. Brilliant bit of defending there from the Brazilian, and that's out of play, I believe, for a goal kick, much to the disappointment of Alexander Isak. That is a really good ball over the top from Virgil van Dijk. Is it poor from Isak to not hold on to the ball, or is it great defending from Jair?
I think Isak, it's almost like he didn't get top speed, because if he just get his body in front of Jair there, it's almost certainly a free kick if he just doesn't get the ball there. So yeah, I think Isak maybe again when Ndoye was going forward, just lacking a bit of belief in the final moments. But it's a really open game now with end-to-end stuff, and I can't see this ending 0-0. So that's probably what it will be.
Positive signs for the neutral, at least. Isak scored 6 goals against Nottingham Forest in his career, all coming while he was a Newcastle player. But he'll be hoping to get his season up and running this afternoon against the side he very much enjoys finding the back of the net against. Ball now at the feet of Murillo for the visitors. Down the line for Williams. Back into Murillo once more. Williams again, far side. No real pressure from Gakpo or McAllister. As now Milenkovic gets a hold of possession. Back to Murillo, far side. Into McAtee, he's challenged well by McAllister. McAllister's passed in towards Wirtz, he's really poor, and the ball will just bounce straight into the hands of Matt Sells. That's disappointing from McAllister because he's done well to win the ball back, but the pass forward to Wirtz was a simple one, and it's a really poor pass forward. Then Forest straight away look towards Igor Jesus. He turns it around the corner under pressure from Van Dijk, but Jacquet reads it well and gets the ball clear. Let's have a look at this challenge then from Nico Williams. Gakpo tries to take the ball on the half turn, but his touch just slows the pace of the momentum down a lot, and Williams can come across and make the challenge. But I will say now, Liverpool have had a chance to get in behind twice, and on both occasions have been played onside by Milenkovic being deeper than the other two centre-halves in the side. That will be a worry for Oliver Glasner, because at Palace they were very, very good, I thought, Glasner's side, keeping a flat back three. So far this afternoon I'll break off because I know where the ball towards the back post. It's met by Ndoye. Great save by Alisson. Jesus was there to try and tap in from close range. Jacquet was putting a challenge in as well, but it's Alisson who makes the save and concedes the corner. Aina afforded far too much space down the near side, picks out a great ball at the back post towards Ndoye. Does brilliantly well to nod across to Igor Jesus, and it's a great challenge from Jeremy Jacquet.
It's a brilliant challenge from Jacquet in the end, and it was needed because I'm not sure if the goalkeeper would have had it. It might have gone just underneath Alisson there, but great attack and probably the best chance of the game. Corner kick now for Forest.
Yeah, corner to be swung in by the visitors. It'll be Nico Williams over on the far side to swing this one in. It's a ball towards the back post. Heads go up and bodies hit the floor, and in the end, I think that's just going to bounce out for a goal kick. Jair the nearest to it, but he was marshalled pretty well in the end by Dominic Soboslai, and so that'll be a goal kick for the Reds. Here's Jeremy Jacquet now for the home side, looking for options around him. He has got Frimpong over on the far side, likes that square ball low to Van Dijk, particularly when he's in his own half. He has got an expansive pass or two on him, Jeremy Jacquet, but more often than not just likes to keep things ticking over, particularly in the early parts of the game, as we saw last weekend. Here he is again on the ball after Frimpong knocked it back to the Frenchman. Wirtz has dropped deep to get involved in play, but Jacquet will move it to the left-hand side of the centre circle for Dominic Soboslai. Trying to move away from Javer Schlager. We'll just go back to Van Dijk. Van Dijk now has Soboslai there on his left-hand side, but will go to his right for Jacquet. Jacquet with a nice ball forward into Isak, just inside Forest territory. Has the ball taken away from him. Poor pass from the Swedish international. Soboslai, though, able to mop up after the ball and behind towards Gibbs White. Different sort of role this season for Dominic Soboslai, you feel. I mean, spent a lot last season at right back, spent a number of games as well in that sort of number 10 position with Wirtz out wide. So far in the opening two games of the season, has played alongside another midfielder in sort of a double pivot. Is that a role, Eric, you think that could suit him throughout this campaign, or is it one where it's basically a case of Andoni Iraiola's trying to fit as many of his top players in as possible and just hope that someone can do the job?
To be honest, I think the latter more, because Soboslai for me, he's an attacking midfielder, and but he's a very good player. Obviously, when he's on the ball, he's very calm on the ball. But at the moment, Liverpool, when they lose the ball, they're struggling with the press against Forest. Three times now, two on the left-hand side, and then Ola Aina with the cross. Very easy how Forest managed to play themselves through the Liverpool defeat. So I think Liverpool midfield and defence. I think Iraola will be. I don't think he'll be very pleased with this start for Liverpool so far, because I think at Anfield, Liverpool, they're not expected to concede chances to anyone, really.
No, they're not, but they conceded a lot against Newcastle. And so maybe just sort of a product of Andoni Iraola's early career at the club. McAtee now back to Murillo. Talk about not conceding chances. They're a side that Forest are a side that create a lot of chances at Anfield. They've got a fantastic record since being promoted a few years ago on Merseyside, particularly at Anfield. As Munoz has just brought down Ola Aina on this near side. So another free kick for Forest. The season finished Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 3 at Anfield. So they'll be hoping for a similar result with Oliver Glasner's men this afternoon to get the Austrian manager his first win in charge of his new side. Jair, long lofted ball forward. It was almost a clearance really more than anything towards Ndoye. Frimpong wins the header, then McAtee leaps over Alexis McAllister. Frimpong though reads the header well and will just knock it back to Alisson, who arguably could have done better for the first goal last weekend against Newcastle. Not sure there was much he could do about the second, as that's a poor pass forward from Jacquet looking towards Frimpong, and it's out of play for a throw-in over on the far side. Ball now back at the feet of Murillo, back inside to Milenkovic. Milenkovic all the way back to Matt Sells, opens his body up, launches a long right-footed ball towards halfway. Kirkes will battle with Morgan Gibbs-White, and Kirkes does well to win it. He's then caught by Olarainen. Not sure what the referee's given here. I think he may have just given a throw-in rather than a foul. Morgan Gibbs-White just protesting with Sam Barrett, suggesting that Kirkes had a hold of his shirt. It did look like he did, to be fair, Kirkes. It looked like he did have a handful of the Forest captain's shirt, but in the end, I think the collision with Olarainen has meant that Sam Barrett's given the free kick the way of Liverpool, much to the frustration of the former Wolves man. As here's Szoboszlai now, along halfway from McAllister. Poor pass from Szoboszlai. McAllister too slow as well. And here come Forest once more. And Doy trying to burst away. Gets away from McAllister, but tackled well by Jacquet. Not once but twice. Now Wirtz will try and step out. McAtee gets there ahead of him. Gibbs-White now into Jesus. Back to Gibbs-White. Jesus once more turns the ball around the corner. Jacquet with a good challenge. Not once but twice. As Jesus eventually gets the shot in, but blocked well by Jacquet. Out of play for a corner on the near side. Liverpool in midfield. So slow, aren't they, Eric?
They're absolutely shocking at the moment, but this is a fantastic pressing from Oliver Glasner's side, especially after they lose the ball. The second ball, it should have been cleared, but it was a diving tackle to actually keep the ball in play, and they tried to walk it almost successfully through the middle there. Forest, who at the moment are the better side after Liverpool probably started the better, but another corner kick, another chance for a cross for the away side.
They've had the bulk of possession so far, Nottingham Forest. Can they create a clear-cut opportunity? Corner towards the near post is dealt with, but only as far as Schlager. His attempted ball back in is blocked. McAllister will then relieve Wirtz of any pressure as he skips away from Murillo. Back now to Szoboszlai. Thought about sending the ball forward, instead will lay it off to McAllister over on the far side. Szoboszlai will continue his run through the midfield and is found by McAllister. He skips away from Schlager well. Szoboszlai looking to try and feed Isak. Deflection comes in from the challenge from McAtee. The offside flag though goes up against the Swede, and that'll be a free kick to Forest, and another disappointing end to what was a promising Liverpool move.
Yes, so Szoboszlai did really well in nutmeg Schlager, and he gets just outside the box, and
he's looking along the line,
it's like Isak is terrible attacking. He should never be offside, but should Szoboszlai actually see that, because he's 10 yards away. So it's one of those where obviously he's got a momentum and the pass is right, but Isak needs to do better there, because he's standing a yard inside the box. He's got the 18-yard line to look at.
Yeah, really disappointing that from Alexander Isak, as a free kick is sent along by Matt Sells towards Igor Jesus. He'll just nod it down to Nico Williams, who will launch long over the top towards Jeremy Jacquet. Jacquet does well to hold off the Brazilian, then just launch long himself down the far side. Straight out of play for a throw, and that's good defending once more from the young Frenchman. Still only 21 years of age. Missed the second half of last season through a shoulder injury. Back on loan at Stade Rennais. Was signed in January by Liverpool for about £50 million, £55 million, but was loaned back to Stade Rennais, so he got more game time in Liga, and proceeded to pretty horribly damage his shoulder in February and didn't play for the rest of the season. So that move didn't quite work out for Liverpool, but since coming in to replace Ibrahima Konate, been very impressive. Might be tested here. Ball to the back post, header won by Ndoye, and wide of the post in the end. Unfortunate from the Swiss international, leaped over Jeremy Frimpong. It's not really a fair battle height-wise at that back post. Frimpong bullied by Ndoye. Allison left scrambling. Lovely ball from McAtee. And Ndoye unable to get it inside the far post into the back of the net.
It's a brilliant chance on that. If that header's inside the box, Alistair got no chance to pick it up. But Frimpong, he just needs to back into Ndoye there to make sure he doesn't win the ball. If you're good for defending, it's not just about winning the ball, it's basically making sure the opponent don't win the ball. But the amount of space McAtee had outside the box to just dink that pass, completely no pressure on the ball. And Liverpool are really struggling, and McAtee's sort of dominating the midfield at the moment.
I think it's fair to say that change in midfield to bring McAllister in for Gravenberg hasn't quite worked out for Andoni Iraola so far. Here the Liverpool come forward down the near side with Victor Munoz, who whenever he gets the ball looks bright and positive. Why he won that penalty against Newcastle last weekend. just wanted to run at Lewis Hall and cause him issues, and that's exactly what he did. So far this afternoon has slightly less joy up against the likes of Ola Aina and Jair, but he might get a chance to run at the Nigerian once again down this near side as he gets the ball off of Kirkes. Here he is now, the former Osasuna man, will try and get down towards the byline, really easily outmuscled by Ola Aina, and Forest have the ball back, and probably far too easily. Here they come down the near side. Aina trying to link up with Gibbs White and Jesus. Poor pass from the fullback. Sees the ball bounce out of play for a throw-in for Liverpool. Yet to create a shooting opportunity. The Reds. Forest, on the other hand, have had 4 efforts towards goal. 7 touches in the opposition box compared to just the 1 for Liverpool, and they're yet to get a corner as well, which just shows Forest's dominance in terms of the midfield and their ability to get the ball forward. Here's Jacquet now trying to push Liverpool forward, feeding Gakpo far side. He's got fellow Dutchman Frimpong in support and uses the former Bayer Leverkusen man. Along halfway, it's with Jacquet into the centre circle for Van Dijk, back to the far side for Jacquet once more. Schlager the furthest one forward for Forest as he went to go put the press on there. Here he is coming forward again. He's clearly been the man that Glasner has asked to step out of the midfield too and put the squeeze on the centre halves. As Kirkes will play the ball down the line for Munoz. Back inside for Soboslai. Fires the ball over into the middle of the park for Jacquet. Jacquet now, ball onto the far side for Gakpo, fancies a run at Nico Williams, will cut in on his left boot, challenged well though by Schlager. McAllister's there though, backing up his mate and takes the ball off of the Austrian midfielder. Schlager now into Isak, nice flick round the corner, feeds Munoz as he's caught from behind. Kirkes back into Munoz once more, cuts in on his right boot well. Munoz, ball into the box, cleared up into the air by Milenkovic, further cleared by Jair, then Jesus will just nod it back to Gibbs White. He loses out to Kirkes. Good spell this for Liverpool as Wirtz, ball down the near side. Kirkes, will he keep it in? He won't, and he's clattered into the advertising hoardings in the process and left himself in a bit of a heap. Good spell from Liverpool, but you can see how fragile the attack is because one poor pass and it all breaks down.
Yeah, still no chances created by Liverpool, but instead a really good build-up play just when they get to the penalty area. And the nearest to goal that was actually a dinked cross from Munoz into the box straight at Milenkovic, was half clear, but a good signs for Liverpool. They've actually managed to recycle the ball after clearances this time, like Forest did earlier when they created their chance, the best chance. But yeah, it's better from Liverpool, but it's clearly tactical for Forest to sit deep when Liverpool have the ball. They're not that interested in pressing too high up the pitch. But Forest have been very impressive when they just lost the ball. Just to recycle the ball, they've been very good in the press.
Yeah, they certainly have been. Ball out over on the far side for a Forest throw to be taken by Nico Williams. Quickly inside to Ndoye, lays off to Schlager. Started this game off brightly. Now Jair, driving forward to put Liverpool on the back foot. Aina, down the near side, right footed ball into the box. Blocked well by Victor Munoz, out of play for a throw on this near side. It'll be Aina to take, indeed it will. Much so, potentially he's going to wind up for a long throw here. The 29-year-old. Always thought was going to be well suited to this Oliver Glasner side. Ola Aina, very much an attacking fullback in his days in a back four, now playing in a back three. He started the season off well with Forest and has started this game off well. Jacquet with the header away from the initial long throw into the box, but it's straight back out where it came from. So it'll be Aina to launch into the box once again. This time it's towards the near post again. Heads go up. This time Kirkes challenge rate. Schlager with the effort from inside the box. Blocked well by Kirkes. And Liverpool can get clear towards halfway, where Nico Williams will have to go all the way back to Matt Sells, who under pressure from Isak will launch long over the top straight away. Surely he's offside, Dan Ndoye, as that ball comes over the top. Flag stays down. Chance is still there. Here's Igor Jesus with the strike, and there's the opener. Forest have the goal, and it's Dan Ndoye with it. Liverpool an absolute mess from a ball over the top, and Forest have the lead. They very much deserved in the opening quarter of this one. One ball over the top from Matt Sells, and there's about 4 players in a Forest shirt in behind. Eventually, despite challenges coming in, the ball bounces to Ndoye, who's not the best of the 3 up top for Forest this afternoon. And it's Nottingham Forest 1, Liverpool 0. VAR will of course have a look, but this is going to stand because Igor Jesus, when that ball comes over the top, is miles onside.
Yeah, he says onside, and then it falls to Gibbs White, and Gibbs White just passing it to Ndoye. Ndoye's basically it just side-footed it into the far corner. Maybe Alisson should have done better, but that's the second time, probably the 5th time overall, but the second time goalkeeper Sells has played a Forest player through on goal. And Jesus did well to actually control the ball. But yeah, that's it's way too easy, and it's not working for Liverpool defensively, and it's given onside by the VAR. Looking at the screen now, it's about maybe half a yard onside, and but if he actually gets a touch towards goal, he's clear on goal there, Jesus. But it's a difficult one because it drops over his head. But it did really well, and you have to say it's a deserved lead.
Yeah, it certainly is. Forest have been excellent in this first half, and as Eric just said, very much a deserved lead. He's got a great record against Liverpool, Oliver Glasner, in 7 games coming into this one against the Reds. He's won 4, drawn 1, lost 2. Fantastic record at Palace against Liverpool. And got his side off to a brilliant start this afternoon. They come straight away on the attack, the Forest down the far side, and Doy, the goal scorer, looking to try and get involved. Good challenge comes in though from McAllister. Gakpo now will try and step forward, challenged, but keeps hold of the ball well and feeds Soberslai. And Soberslai's got a bit of space to run into. He's got Forest backpedaling, plays a great ball onto this near side for Kirkes, in line with the penalty. A left-footed ball into the box, not a great one, easily headed away by Jair. Aina will then try and see it out for a throw-in. Kirkes though wins it and wins a throw of his own. But questions for Andone Iraola, who 26 minutes into his Anfield debut, he's trailing by a goal to nil courtesy of Swiss international Dan and Doy. And it's not like Liverpool hadn't had their warnings. Wirtz tries to turn the ball around the corner. I have no idea who he's looking for there with that pass. Florian Wirtz, and easily gives it away. And Forest will come forward once more down the far side. Here it is with Nico Williams against his former side. Has Ndoye further wide and uses the goal scorer. Back into Javier Schlager in midfield. Murillo into McAtee. Forest running rings around Liverpool at the moment. McAtee looking for Igor Jesus in behind. He's caught there by Virgil van Dijk, is the Brazilian. Nothing given by the referee. And play will continue with Liverpool looking to come forward. Frimpong, far side, squared up by McAtee. Will go into Florian Wirtz, will knock it back to McAllister. McAllister looks for the lofted ball to the near side for Munoz. Munoz will do well to keep that in over on the near side, and he's away from Olorina. Was he fouled there by the Nigerian? Referee says yes. That'll be a free kick to Liverpool in a dangerous area, and that's better. It's clear to see where the only battle that Liverpool are winning at the moment is Munoz up against Aina. That's the battle, and they have to keep exploiting that.
But it did really well then, Munoz, because the ball, it was an overhit pass, but he managed to keep it in play by the corner flag and to get a free kick there from Aina. Because of his first touch, it just takes it back along the line, and Aina just dives in. And it's a chance for Liverpool. I think it's the first cross they will have into the box from a sort of crossing position, this set piece at least. They had that Frimpong one early on when he miscued the cross, but chance for Liverpool now.
So I would like to swing this one in on the near side, so it'll basically be almost like a right-footed in-swinger from the Liverpool left. Raises left arm before floating this one towards the 6-yard box. It challenges Sells, who punches up but not away. Schlager does similarly with his head, and then Milenkovic will get clear towards the edge of the box. McAllister tries a couple of flicks before McAtee can get clear into midfield. Soberslai will just nod back to Frimpong. He'll be under a bit of pressure here from Gibbs White, so we'll go back to Alisson. Alisson will then lay it back off to Frimpong over on the far side, and he'll look to step forward and try and get Liverpool back on the front foot. McAllister now just inside his own half. Liverpool have got 5 players all over on the near side at the moment, all looking for the ball. Eventually it'll find one in Soberslai. Munoz now, one-on-one with Nico Williams, who's just swapped sides for the moment. We'll go back to Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk now slows things down before laying it off to Jeremy Jacquet. Jacquet back to Van Dijk once more. He'll fire the ball over onto the far side for Frimpong, who had a bit of space to run into, but his first touch slows him down, allows Ndoye to get back at him. McAllister into Jacquet once more. Okay, slows it down before laying it off to McAllister. McAllister into Gakpo. Decent ball down line for Frimpong. What's the cross like? Frimpong to the edge of the box. Soberslai first time blocked by Schlager. Still the chances there though. McAllister gathers the loose ball. Quick 1-2 between himself and the Hungarian before Kirkes picks it up on the near side. Kirkes down the line for Munoz. One-on-one with Nico Williams. Munoz gets the run at the Welshman, gets towards the byline, cut back towards Isak, who's caught flat-footed, sees the ball cleared away by Milenkovic. Virtzo wins the ball back off of the header from Van Dijk. Soboslai, terrible ball onto the far side looking for Frimpong. Telegraphs it and Ndoi's away. And Ndoi will drive. Soboslai does well to get back and slots in to a right back position. Ndoi though keeps hold of possession, will just knock it back to Murillo. Here's Olaraina. Back to Murillo once more. Just under half hour gone at Anfield. Independent off-tube studio-based commentary. Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan Ndoi currently the difference between the two sides at the moment. But it's been a bit more than that on the balance of play. Just to say that, Wirtz wins the ball back high up, plays it off to Gakpo. Gakpo into McAllister into the box. McAllister into Isak, trying to create the space. Takes far too long on the ball and is challenged from behind by Nico Williams, who's hurt himself in the process, giving away the corner. It was Murillo who took too long on the ball and was challenged by Florian Wirtz. Chance that for Liverpool that Isak squanders.
Yes, it's a chance, and it's a good press and a terrible play by Murillo, but it goes into the box and it's almost like he's not aware of that.
He doesn't know what to do, does he?
It just stands one-on-one with Jair, and then Williams just runs and picks his pocket, although he didn't actually put it in his pocket, he put it out for a corner kick. So Liverpool getting a bit more chances now on the crosses. Let's see if it can get a better corner kick now from Soboslai coming in now.
Soboslai, corner towards the 6-yard box, headed away by Murillo. Wirtz will challenge McAtee in midfield and lose out. McAtee, the former Manchester City man, does well to gather possession after the deflection off the face of Igor Jesus. Wirtz then comes across, puts in the sliding challenge and sees the ball out of play for a throw-in on this near side. It looks as though they're targeting Matt Sells a bit. Liverpool looking to try and put him under a bit of pressure inside the 6-yard box. Jacquet it was almost man marking the goalkeeper on this occasion, but the ball nowhere near the 34-year-old.
It's really weird because Forest actually letting him. Quite often you see the defensive team try to get one player in front of the goalkeeper and the defender, but they were quite happy for Jacquet to just for half a yard, which is watching him face to face. That's how he was attacking it, but Murillo was in front of him eventually to just head it out. Again, it's a poor delivery from Soboslai. I thought the first corner was poor as well, but the Sells made a meal of it when he should have caught it. But Liverpool dominating a bit now, but it need a bit more explosiveness going forward.
Frimpong trying to make a move down the far side, looking towards Wirtz in the middle. Wirtz wins it back after initially losing out possession. Frimpong back to Wirtz. There's the equaliser. Florian Wirtz with it, and what a finish from Liverpool's number 7. It's brilliant from Frimpong and Wirtz on the near side. The former Leverkusen boys linking up brilliantly, and that is some strike from the 23-year-old. Liverpool back level. It's Liverpool 1, Forest 1.
That's a much better strike than it actually looks like when it goes into the net. Basically, it just he's got it back to the ball, and it just swings a foot straight away, taking everyone by surprise. And his Wirtz actually won the ball first. He played it to Frimpong. He's not offside because I think it's coming from a defender, and the way he just twists his body and just shoots straight away. I think if Gakpo had done that earlier, it could have been a goal. Brilliant goal by Wirtz, actually, and he created it as well by winning the ball back in the first place.
Yeah, he does brilliantly well, Florian Wirtz, just to know where the goal is. Doesn't take a look up, just on the swivel, fires into the bottom corner. Brilliant between himself and Jeremy Frimpong down the far side, Liverpool's right. And Antonio Raiola has his first Anfield goal. So I think they might just be giving it a check. The question is was Frimpong offside when that initial challenge came in from Florian Wirtz? It looked to me like James McAtee had played the ball. Frimpong is coming back from an offside position. It's whether McAtee plays the ball before the ball gets to Frimpong. I think Sam Barrett's just going to have a word maybe with the captains to explain the situation and what's happened. Frimpong is coming back from an offside position. They basically got to decipher the VAR whether McAtee plays the ball or not. And Sam Barrett has gestured the VAR sign. And what's he given here? Wirtz looks a little bit disappointed. The goal will not stand. Liverpool's equaliser will not stand. And, I mean, he's offside, Frimpong. There's no argument, but does McAtee play the ball?
Well, I thought McAtee played the ball, but then obviously did it bounce off McAtee, or did he actually play the ball? That's what VAR would look at. And obviously, if he plays the ball, he plays everyone onside. Yeah, so that's really unlucky for Liverpool because they've challenged the ball and they haven't really done that much. They actually won the second ball. They managed to recycle the ball in a dangerous position. So that's a great strike from Virts. Counts for nothing, but at least it's better from Liverpool. The way they actually had a bit of a press against Forest and therefore created that chance, because that's really unlucky for Frimpong to be offside. You can't really blame him because it happened so fast.
Forest survive a scare, having taken the lead midway through the first half. They've looked poor, it has to be said, since going ahead. And Liverpool have responded well, but they have to sort of brush that VAR decision off and continue with what they were doing. Just as I say that, they give a throw-in away on the near side. Kirkes challenging Morgan Gibbs-White, so a chance now for the long throw to come in from Aina. Heads go up, it's headed away by Van Dijk. Schlager then loses out to Wirtz, who will turn it around the corner for Munoz, and Munoz has been left one-on-one with Nico Williams, and here comes Victor Munoz, driving towards the penalty area. He's clipped by Nico Williams, but I think he knows he was on his way down anyway, and so goal kick given. He never looked like he was stable on his feet at all there, Victor Munoz, and he panicked as soon as he saw Nico Williams. I mean, there's nobody really up there with him, so he's always going to have to take it on his own, but the minute there was any sort of pressure from the Welshman, he just sort of crumbled quite literally as he hit the deck, and play breaks down.
He's got a couple of touches on the ball which takes it slightly out towards the corner flag instead of towards the penalty area, and once he got to the ball there, at first I thought it looked like a dive. I think he just loses his balance, and it wasn't a dive, it just fell over. Oh, it's a terrible back pass to Alisson there.
Yeah, Paul from Frimpong. Alisson quickly off his line to pinch the ball away from Ndoye, otherwise that would have been 2-0. Here's Kirkes now, trying to move forward for the home side down their left. Challenge comes in though from Gibbs-White, and it'll be a throw-in for Liverpool to be taken on this near side. Van Dijk now launched the long ball over onto the far side for Gakpo, nods it down to Frimpong, I say to Frimpong in the direction of the Dutchman, but it's nowhere near him, and in the end Ndoye picks up the ball, and I think will have earned McAllister the first yellow card of the afternoon, because he went sliding in the Argentinian, and caught Ndoye as he tries to come forward. I'm quite surprised that's not a yellow card, even if the reaction of Dan Ndoye was a bit theatric. I think that's probably what saved McAllister from getting that yellow card, because Ndoye certainly made the most of it. I'm not entirely sure there's the need for the limp over on that far side, but a free kick for Forest nonetheless, just inside Liverpool territory. Nico Williams to take with his right boot. He got the big men up from the back to float this one towards, who were all at the back post. It does head towards the back post, where Jair's left all on his own. So almost like looking towards the linesman to put his flag up for offside. I don't know if the flag was ever going to come, Eric, and that, again, he's dreadful defending from a ball over the top.
Well, I think Jair, but probably he had to stop his run because it would have been offside, but he's got acres of space, so if he just gambled on, maybe timed his run slightly better, so he didn't have to stop his run towards goal, it would have been Jair on the back post with no Liverpool players, just Alisson Becker to beat, but luckily for Liverpool it was overhit the cross, and it was out for a goal kick, and Liverpool can start again. It's an open game now, and Liverpool, they have dominated much more after the goal.
Yeah, they certainly have done. Here's Soboslai now for the Reds, ball to the near side for Kirkes. Munoz trying to escape down the near side, but instead Liverpool will move possession into midfield. Soboslai once more into the centre circle for Xhaka. Xhaka over onto the far side, feeds Gakpo. Gakpo, right-footed ball towards Wirtz, who heads towards goal. Great save, brilliant stop from Matt Sells, who celebrates as if he scored one down the other end of the field. That's a brilliant header from Florian Wirtz, who's having a great game in that number 10 position this afternoon, and really ought to have had a goal at this point. Well, that's a brilliant stop from Matt Sells to keep it at 1-0 to Forest.
It's a fantastic header. He had no right to win that header, but it's a corner kick taken quickly, cross into the box.
Yeah, corner taken towards the back post. Van Dijk was lurking, headed away well by Jair. Then McAtee surely was fouled from behind there by Victor Munoz. Indeed he was. And that'll be a free kick for Forest, and all the pressure that Liverpool were building has now all of a sudden been relieved. Just over 5 minutes to go until half time. In the Penalty Tube studio-based commentaries, Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. A reminder of some of the other Premier League games coming up this afternoon, all of which will be available on this service at 3 o'clock. Bournemouth host Everton and Coventry host Hull, while it's Tottenham Newcastle at 5:30 in the late kickoff. There's also a number of games in the Championship as well that will also be available on this service if you're wanting to dip into England's second tier. As long ball over the top from that free kick is gathered by Liverpool, and McAllister can try and set his side forward once more. Wirtz over on the far side, back into Jeremy Jacquet on the edge of the centre circle, moves it into opposition territories. He plays the ball forward into Soberslide. Soberslide back to Van Dijk, to Milos Kerkez. Kerkez into Munoz. Munoz trying to turn it round the corner. Sees his pass intercepted by Aina. Van Dijk's then got to put that ball towards Gibbs White, out of play for a throw-in on the near side. The shots balance is starting to move slightly in better favour for Liverpool. They've now mustered 3 efforts on goal, just the 1 on target though, compared to Forest's 6 shots. They've only managed the 1 on target. That one, of course, they found the back of the net. I'll break off because McAllister's won the ball back well in midfield and feeds Wirtz. And Wirtz will find Frimpong. And Frimpong's got Gakpo over on the far side. It's a really poor pass for Gakpo, and he plays it behind him. But Gakpo will keep hold of possession, even if the counter-attack has broken down for Liverpool. McAllister now into midfield. Will float the ball onto the near side for Munoz. Munoz will bring it down up against Aina with his side. Lovely touch from the Spaniard. As he'll then go back to Milos Kerkez. Kerkez into midfield for Van Dijk, across to Jacquet. Jacquet fires the ball onto the far side for Gakpo. Gakpo one-on-one with Nico Williams, doesn't fancy the run, will lay it off to Frimpong, who just kicked that straight into Dan and Doy and out of play for a throw-in over on the far side. He struggled so far this afternoon, Jeremy Frimpong, as he did last weekend against Newcastle, still really trying to grow into his Liverpool shirt. He's gone for the tucked-in shirt look this year, which hasn't changed his fortunes a huge amount, it has to be said. But trying to get involved now as he makes the underlapping run inside of Gakpo. Gakpo instead will use Jacquet. He himself will try and find Frimpong, but he's beaten to it by Ndoye. Jacquet, though, gathers the loose ball and will look to play it over onto the far side for Wirtz. Wirtz one-on-one with Ndoye. Thought was going to have a run at the Swiss there. Instead, he'll just knock it into Gakpo. Gakpo round the corner feeds Wirtz once more. Wirtz just walking on the ball, has it taken away from him by Nico Williams. Here's McAllister into Soberslide. Soberslide under pressure from Schlager, will go back to Van Dijk. Van Dijk now into Soberslide once more. Van Dijk again. Liverpool trying to end the half well. Jacquet across to Frimpong. Frimpong to Gakpo, in line with the corner of the penalty area. Held up well by Ndoye. Frimpong again. Square to Jacquet. Van Dijk telling him to play the ball forward. Eventually he does. Isak caught on his heels though, and Forest win the ball back. Soberslide puts the pressure on McAtee. McAtee into Ndoye. Ndoye fires it onto the near side, looking towards Gibbs White. Kerkez with a bit of defending to do here. Will try and head away, and instead just heads out for a throw in on the near side. They never look like creating an opportunity there, Liverpool.
There's absolutely no creativity for Liverpool. When they had the balls on the right hand side for ages with Gakpo, Frimpong, and Wirtz were involved. There are 3 players in the middle with Isak, Munoz, and Soboslai, and they were just standing there. They weren't moving. What they need to do, they need to move positions. They need to swap positions in the middle to create space. But there was no space for Gakpo to find in the middle there, and therefore the ball goes back forward to, and it gets very, very stale, the attacking play, and very comfortable for Forest.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's Gibbs White now trying to come forward and make things difficult for Liverpool. Van Dijk comes across and puts a good tackle in, puts the ball out of play for a throw-in on the near side. Gibbs White not happy. He thought he should have had a foul after the challenge from Isak, but it's a throw-in instead on this near side. Camera just pans to Oliver Glasner, who I think at half-time will be absolutely delighted with the way his side have seen out, by the looks of things, this 1-goal lead till half-time. Stats just pops up on our screen. The least amount of touches so far in this match. Alexander Isak has touched the ball 4 times so far this afternoon, and I'll be honest, I think at least 2 of those touches have led to Forest having the ball back straight away. Yeah,
a couple of them have just gone out for a goal kick, but it's he's not had a good game. Isak, he's not involved in the game at all. So, and now it's the first yellow card game. You were doing the refereeing there, because it was one of the clearest yellow cards you have.
Yeah,
it's a tactical yellow card.
McAllister skipped away from Igor Jesus there, and Jesus has just tripped him from behind. No attempt to try and track back and deal with the midfielder. And rightly so, Sam Barrett cards the Brazilian. I can't imagine Oliver Glasner's going to be too happy with the 25-year-old, because that's a lazy yellow card to pick up as McAllister does brilliantly well to skip away from Schlager, feeds Wirtz over on the far side. Wirtz now stepping towards the penalty area, held up well by McAtee, will lay it off to Gakpo. Gakpo does well to get into the box, lays it off, Isak with a chance, lays it off to Munoz. Oh, it should be 1-1. Huge opportunity for Liverpool, and the chance goes begging again. Brilliant from Gakpo and Wirtz over on the far side. Szoboszlai does well in the box to keep the ball moving. Isak with another poor touch sees the ball bounce into Munoz, and Munoz, you have to say, has got to score his first Liverpool goal.
Yeah, and Isak, he could have got his assist with his 5th touch on the poor touch. It's a great chance, about 12-13 yards out, and it's just rolling to what he got to do better. There's no need to lean back there for Munoz, and he goes probably half a yard over the bar, but Gakpo is going into the game on the right-hand side. He's been the most creative player for Liverpool going forward. The way he just slalomed himself into the box there to get that square pass out to Munoz eventually. Brilliant from Gakpo, but yeah, Liverpool should score.
About to find out how much added on time there will be at the end of this first 45. 2 or 3 minutes would be my assumption, and 3 is the number held up by the referee's 4th official because of that VAR check and the earlier goal from Forest. That is why we end up with the 3 at the end of this first half. As Van Dijk gathers possession on this near side, moves it back into Jeremy Jacquet. Jacquet now into Van Dijk once more, steps into Forest territory, I should say, before feeding McAllister along halfway. Have Liverpool got one more chance in them before the interval? They've ended this first half well, especially since going behind by a goal to nil, but they haven't been able to find the back of the net and the goal stand, of course. Wirtz thought he'd got his first goal of the season earlier on, but VAR ruling Frimpong offside in the build-up. Here's Florian Wirtz across to Jeremy Jacquet. Jacquet to Szoboszlai, tries to turn it around the corner. That's poor from him though. Van Dijk will gather possession inside the centre circle. Jacquet now over onto the far side for Gakpo. Gakpo trying to create the space, plays well. Plays a nice 1-2 with Frimpong. Gakpo, ball towards the near post, cleared away by Milenkovic. Frimpong now gathers inside the penalty area, tries to turn away from his man. Murillo with a strong challenge that takes the ball away from the 25-year-old. And here come Forest on the counter-attack. And Ndoye into Jesus, back into midfield for Schlager. All the way back down to Nico Williams. And Liverpool put the squeeze on Frimpong to get to touch on that Williams ball over the top. But it's not enough to not force Wirtz into a challenge and put the ball out of play for a throw over on the far side. A really good skill initially from Frimpong inside the box, but Murillo just such clever defending to read the momentum of the turn.
Yeah, he reads it turns into the box there. Frimpong, it's a decent first touch, but it just runs into traffic. Murillo read it long before he started twisting and turning the Frimpong, and now it's Forest, maybe the last attack on the game. Maybe a chance now, but after Liverpool maybe deserves to be 1-1 now after the last 10 to 15 minutes.
Milenkovic, ball inside the centre circle for Forest, lays it off to Murillo. Murillo lofts the left-footed ball over the top onto the near side for Aina. Brilliant touch from the Nigerian, and he's away from Munoz here. Aina into the box. Oh, great save, Alisson onto the crossbar to deny Igor Jesus. Brilliant goalkeeping from Liverpool's number 1. Dreadful from Victor Munoz on the near side. He could not deal with Ola Aina, who's done brilliantly going forward in this one. And that is an unbelievable stop from Alisson to deny Dan Ndoye, I think it was in the end, his second of the game. What an unbelievable stop.
What a chance. Shot 10-11 yards out, and it just guides it towards goal. And Alisson, I don't think he saw that till the ball was straight at him and onto the bar. Corner kick for Forest.
Corner swung in from the far side towards the back post. Heads go up. Murillo heads towards goal. He thinks there was a deflection as it went behind. There was, so we will get one last opportunity, you'd think, before the end of this first half, with it being a corner. Having said that, Alisson's picked up the ball, but he has bowled it straight out of play onto the near side. So it will be one final opportunity for Forest. They're going to have to get a move on before Sam Barrett blows for half-time if they want to have the opportunity to swing this corner in. It's going to be McAtee to take it with his left boot on the near side. Left-footed ball towards the 6-yard box, headed away well by Van Dijk, and that will do for the first 45 at Anfield. So a fantastic first half from a neutral's point of view. Even better if you're a Nottingham Forest fan. They're ahead at half-time thanks to a brilliant strike from Dan Ndoye. Half-time at Anfield, Liverpool 0, Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy, the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy, the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy, the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy, the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy, the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy, the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy, the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy, the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy, the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy, the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Half time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Dan and Doy the difference between the two sides at the moment. One long ball over the top from Matt Sells was latched onto brilliantly by Igor Jesus. A couple of challenges came in from Jeremy Jacquet before Morgan Gibbs-White was able to lay it off to Ndoye, who finished brilliantly on the far side of the penalty area. Liverpool have had the ball in the back of the net to equalise through Florian Wirtz. VAR determining that Jeremy Frimpong had been offside in the build-up. Ultimately, it's been Forest's day so far, and they deservedly are ahead at half-time. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Hi, it's a very warm welcome back to this independent off-tube studio-based commentary of this Premier League fixture at Anfield between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest. The two sides went in at half-time with Forest leading by a goal to nil. They might be about to make it two straight away. Frimpong losing out and Ndoye firing on goal. Alisson making the save. I think in the end, referee Sam Barrett pulled it back for a free kick. Nervy start already. Yeah, as I said, Forest leading by a goal to nil at half-time. And Liverpool very much underperforming in that first half, shall we say. It's myself, Luke Ashurst, alongside me, Eric Stagnus, to take you through all the action of the second half. Eric, no changes in commentary, no changes at half-time here. Maybe a little bit surprised Liverpool haven't made a change in this at half-time, or is it maybe a case of actually the end of the second half, or the end of the first half, a little bit better, so you just sort of got to keep the momentum going as Szoboszlai ready to swing this corner in, right-footed outswinger towards the near post, flicked on by Isak. Van Dijk will head it towards goal. Sells will then punch away, and then has a foul been given? No, play will continue as McAllister's left stricken. Wirtz in towards the near post, headed away again. Szoboszlai left-footed ball into the box, this time headed towards Gibbs-White. And Forest could come forward on the counter-attack, and they will do with Schlager. Schlager on the ball to the far side for McAtee. McAtee back looking for Schlager. Jacquet back there defending, so can now finally bring Eric in.
Yes, I'm surprised that Liverpool haven't actually made a change. And the midfield and the defence, it's not working. We've seen it twice already in the second half. It was like watching the first half with Ndoye going one-on-one with the keeper. There's a slight push in the back of Frimpong that actually gave the foul. So, but yeah, and then on this counter-attack, it was 3 against 3, and it could easily have been another chance. So, yeah. Frimpong is really struggling defensively. Well, the keeping, because he's a very good wing back. He's linked up with Gakpo a few times going forward. Decent to play there offensively, but something needs to happen, and they may be happening now. And Wirtz, probably their best player, who managed to get into the box there. Yeah,
Munoz floating the ball in. Wirtz looking to challenge. Dealt with in the end by Forest as Liverpool try and keep the ball moving. But the end, Oleraina does well enough to gather a hold and possession. We'll try and play it down the line. Kirkes has been left stricken, but no foul given by Sam Barrett. And now here come Forest on the attack. Here's Ndoye, once again trying to get the better of Frimpong. Does initially. Frimpong gets back at him, and Ndoye still gets the effort off on goal though. Wide of the post, and out of play for a goal kick. Gives me a chance to run you through the lineups in full for Liverpool. It's Alisson in goal. Back four of Kirkes, Van Dijk, Jacquet and Frimpong. Midfield two of McAllister and Szoboszlai, with Munoz, Wirtz and Gakpo supporting Isak through the middle. As for Forest, it's Sells in goal. The back three of Jair, Milenkovic and Murillo. Midfield four of Aina, Schlager, McAtee and Williams, with Ndoye and Gibbs-White supporting Igor Jesus up top. Here it is now with Virgil van Dijk, trying to get Liverpool back on the front foot. Gakpo down the near side, much quieter in this game than he was last weekend against Newcastle. Wirtz back down the line to Gakpo, looked for all the world he was offside. Player continued ball to the back post. Munoz with a header, horribly miscued and wide of the target in the end. The flag stays down, so Gakpo must have been onside. I'm sure obviously if Munoz had scored it, it'd have been checked. It's way offside, Cody Gakpo. There's no way that goal would have counted. Doesn't matter anyway. Munoz makes a mess of the opportunity.
Yeah, I think actually it was actually up with the flag very quickly, because but Munoz should do much better with the header. It's a decent cross. Yeah, so it's a chance for for Liverpool. And I think you said Gakpo is a lot quieter today than it was last time. I think it's arguably he and Florian Wirtz, it's basically the players that create chances for the home side. So they need him on the pitch.
Yeah, they certainly do. All over the top, looking towards Van Dijk. Headed forwards into Gakpo, does well to bring it down and link up with Wirtz, then runs into trouble. McAllister picks up the pieces, finds Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai runs straight into Schlager, then try and get back at the former Leipzig man, but he completely miscues, and then Gibbs White should have tried to play through Igor Jesus, but it's a poor pass forward and easily dealt with. Munoz then tackled from behind by Ola Aina, who holds his hand up in apology to Sam Barrett, goes to check that the Spaniard is okay. That's going to be a yellow card for the Nigerian international. See a replay of it now. Munoz, lovely flick round the corner, and yeah, he's out of control, Ola Aina, and rightly so. Sam Barrett carding the former Chelsea and Fulham man, so he becomes the second player in the book this afternoon, second Forest player as well in the book at that. Joining Igor Jesus on that yellow card that he picked up in the first half. That challenge on McAllister. Ball to be swung in by Szoboszlai over on the far side. Right-footed ball towards the 6-yard box. Sells will come, and that punch is a lot better than any that he completed in the first half. Schlager will complete the clearance as he launches long into Liverpool territory. Alisson will boot high into the sky. Van Dijk will try and head on towards Gakpo or Isak, but they were both stood watching their captain try and nod it in behind, so Nico Williams can easily gather. Ball over the top is flicked on by Igor Jesus. Szoboszlai will gather ahead of Ndoye, go back to Alisson. Alisson now will step into midfield with nobody in a Forest shirt anywhere near him. Kerkez now down the line for Munoz. Munoz will move it back inside for Virgil van Dijk. Dijk now off the ball onto this near side, will feed Frimpong nicely. Frimpong opens his body up, right-footed ball into the box. Searching towards Murillo, but it's somebody overhits. Frimpong again, ball towards the penalty area. Challenged well this time by Ndoye. Still Liverpool keep it moving. Wirtz, nice turn into McAllister. McAllister now finds Van Dijk. Dijk into McAllister once more, asking Kerkez to make a move, but McAllister will try and keep the forward attack going. Van Dijk after the header from Jacquet back to the Frenchman. Again, Van Dijk furious at the ball not being moved quicker. Liverpool not really making any inroads, and then Kerkez gives the ball away, booting it out, looking for Victor Munoz, and I mean, they look hopeless.
It's the second half, I think. Iriola, he has to make some changes, even if just to tell the players on the pitch this is basically not good enough. Because at Liverpool, they had probably the ball for a minute there, creating absolutely nothing, and not even close to creating a chance. While Forest, a couple of times they've won the ball, they win the ball again. They could easily have played 2-3 players one-on-one with the keeper. And Ndoye twice has been behind the back four of Liverpool, and they had the ball with Schlager in the middle, and it's a poor pass in their own half. They could have basically 2 players could have been one-on-one with the keeper. So the press for Liverpool is in midfield. It's non-existent when you lose the ball.
Frimpong on the near side, back into Alisson on the edge of his own penalty area. He steps forward into midfield. Van Dijk now to Jacquet. Jacquet down this near side for Frimpong. Frimpong cuts in well away from Nico Williams, away from Ndoye as well, and then he's challenged by Murillo. Wants a free kick. No idea where he thinks that free kick is coming from, Jeremy Frimpong, I'll be honest. Jacquet then found tackles Igor Jesus on the near side, but Forest keep hold of possession. Here's Milenkovic, ball over the top, looking towards Aina, headed back down by the full-back, looking for Gibbs White, and the ball forward from Jair is poor. Munoz then gives the ball away, trying too much in midfield. Wirtz though wins it back well and feeds Isak. Isak one-on-one with Milenkovic, trying to feed Munoz back into the penalty area. Jair will see that out for a goal kick. In fact, no, he'll win a free kick. Munoz has caught him from behind, and Munoz would also get yellow card for his reaction from the decision from Sam Barrett. And yeah, 10 minutes or just under 10 minutes gone in this second half. Independent off-tube studio-based commentary. Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. All the momentum that Liverpool built up at the end of the first half seems to have all disappeared, and they're now either shouting at each other or shouting at the referee.
Yeah, it's Munoz there. it was a poor pass from Isak. Isak, for the first time I actually seen him go diagonally and actually receive the ball on the corner flag. Initially very good, but then it's a percentage pass against Munoz. He had no chance to win that ball against two defenders, and he goes to ground. He was shielded out, and he waves his arm to the referee straight away. Therefore, he gets a yellow card. But Liverpool go forward again with Munoz. Been hit and miss, and mostly miss Munoz today.
Yeah, he got played in behind early on in the first half, but fell over his own feet under a bit of pressure from Nico Williams, and can't move for Liverpool very swiftly, broke down, as many have so far this afternoon. Xhaka, all onto the near side for Frimpong, inside to Gakpo. Frimpong's made the run over on the far side, but Gakpo will go back to Xhaka, who then loses out far too easily to Ndoye, and here comes Dan Ndoye, looking to make it two for Forest, one-on-one with Alisson, forced wide by Van Dijk, brilliant defending, tries to play the ball to the back post, Gibbs White and Igor Jesus should have been there, Kirkes will get clear. Liverpool mightily fortunate not to be 2-0 down. Xhaka showing his inexperience, giving the ball away really high up the field. Liverpool's midfield nowhere to be seen. Van Dijk shows his quality and forces Ndoye wide, but he looks beside himself, the Liverpool skipper, because he's just looking around saying, I've got nothing with me here.
No, he did basically fantastically defended by Van Dijk. Not his fault that Xhaka just give the ball in midfield, but if Ndoye they could actually get the one-on-one with a goal, take the ball towards goal instead of just taking it slightly towards the corner flag or slightly to the left of goal. Eventually it just crosses the ball where there's no one in the box. But that's fourth time I think this half Forest actually have managed to play the ball over the back four and created nearly chances at least.
When 9 games without winning at the start of his Bournemouth career, Andoni Iraola, he'll be hoping he doesn't suffer similar fate in charge of Liverpool, because he knows that at top 6 clubs you don't get afforded that time to adjust. But at the minute, it doesn't look as though his first win is coming this afternoon in his first game in charge at Anfield. Here's Jeremy Xhaka, turns back on himself and lays off to Van Dijk. Van Dijk over onto the far side now for Kirkes. Kirkes ball forward into Wirtz, holds off the challenge of Jair well, and keeps possession moving. Here's Xhaka. Xhaka onto the near side for Gakpo. Gakpo, first time ball with his right boot, massively over here. That's going to fly straight out of play for a throw-in over on the far side. We were talking at half-time, weren't we, Eric, about the bizarre decision to play Gakpo on the right-hand side, Munoz on the left. Victor Munoz played more often than not as a right midfielder at Osasuna last season, and has featured at times on the right-hand side for Spain. Yes, he's right-footed, but that's the position that he very regularly played last season. Gakpo never plays on the right-hand side for Liverpool or the Netherlands, and yet for some reason you've got Munoz playing on the left today and Gakpo playing on the right, and I think it's fair to say neither of them have benefited from that switch. Munoz won the penalty last weekend playing on the right-hand side, running at Lewis Hall. Gakpo scored his goal last weekend playing on the left-hand side, cutting on his right boot. Any explanation as to why they've played that side, or is it just baffling?
It's baffling, obviously. But they look at the other team, and maybe they've looked at the back. Maybe Murillo is the player to on the left centre half to attack. Maybe that's Gakpo. They're the most experienced winger they have. They lose the ball, and that's a yellow card all day long for Florian Wirtz. It's almost one of those. It's such a deliberate trip.
What that is Wirtz can't be bothered to run back. He's seen his teammates give the ball away, and he's going, you know what? I'm not doing the dirty work here. I'm bringing him down. Third yellow card handed out by Sam Barrett this afternoon. The first going the way of a player in red. Frimpong again going down far too easily, and yeah, it's not a good tackle from Florian Wirtz, and rightly so. Sam Barrett given the yellow card. I mean, again, Liverpool's midfield is all over the place, and something is going to have to change sooner rather than later. Rio Ngamoa is ready to come on, so we'll wait and see how long it takes for the teenager to be brought on. You'd assume that'll be for Gakpo over on the far side, or for Munoz, and Gakpo will move back over to the left. I don't know. You want Engamoa on the left-hand side. You want Gakpo on the left-hand side. So maybe he brings Gakpo off and moves Munoz onto the right side. I'm also seeing Ronald Araujo get ready to come on, which I'll be honest is quite baffling given that Liverpool are trailing by 1-0 and they're readying a centre half. But who am I to question Andoni Iraola? Just under an hour gone at Anfield. Independent off-tube studio-based commentary. It's Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1. It is the Reds on the ascendancy at the moment down this near side with Jeremy Frimpong. Frimpong back into Florian Wirtz down the right-hand side. Back into the midfield for Jeremy Jacquet. Jacquet looking for options around, will lay it off to McAllister. Back to Jacquet once more. Every single Forest player behind the ball at the moment until Wirtz turns around the corner. And that's a lovely spin from Gakpo. And Gakpo will put it across. And there's the equaliser. And it's Alexander Isak with it. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. He's barely touched the ball so far in this one, Alexander Isak. But brilliant play from Gakpo as he moves down the right-hand side. Squares the ball across to the Swedish international. And he simply could not miss from inside 6 yards. Brilliant from Cody Gakpo, again proving why he's Liverpool's best attacker at the moment. And Isak, with brilliant positioning, taps into level. Liverpool 1, Nottingham Forest 1.
It's a really good goal from a Liverpool point of view, but it basically played as slow motion. But Gakpo, beautiful turn on the right side. His cross into the box is brilliant, but it's, I guess, goalkeeper plus 3 defenders. Isak should never ever get that ball. But it's a
great ball.
It's a great ball, and Sells, I think he should do better. But Isak, he does exactly what he needs to do. What Haaland always says for Man City: if I touch the ball 3 times and I score 3 goals, I don't care about the few. Referring to the 5 touches he had in the first half. That maybe was the first touch in the second. It wasn't, but not. Close by, but will Liverpool now make those substitutions?
Well, it was Simicast, Gravenberch and Engamoa all stripped off ready to come on the near side. As that goal went in, Iraola just told them to hold their horses for a moment, so potentially liking what he's seeing as Gakpo once again played down the near side, this time by Kirkes, drives towards the byline, flattened in the end by Dan and Doy, who was back doing defensive work with Nico Williams down the other end of the field, being out of position. Nothing given by referee Sam Barrett or assistant on the near side, so it will be a goal kick for Nottingham Forest. But they can't sell Gakpo, surely. I mean, look, the rumour is that Bradley Barcola is coming to Merseyside tomorrow for his medical on the brink of a £120 million move from PSG. And the rumour was that to afford that move, Gakpo would be sold to the most interested party being Tottenham Hotspur. Surely now, at this stage, they have to recognise that he cannot be sold.
No, it's the best attacking outlet Liverpool have on the right-hand side. He has now the best of games. He had a couple of really poor crosses into the box, but he created a goal all on his own. His turn in the box, down the line, perfect cross into the box on the right-hand side. So before the goal, I for sure would have taken Munoz off instead of a Gakpo, but. Now to go forward with Munoz, will he prove me wrong?
Munoz, corner of the penalty area, squared up by both Gibbs White and Ola Aina. So we'll go back to Kirkes, who you'd assume was one of the 3 ready to come off, with Kostas Tsimikas being readied. Van Dijk now. Forest very much on the back foot, holding on to this point as things stand. Kirkes, ball into the box, looking towards Munoz. He can't get it under control. Murillo will get clear. The Anfield crowd, you can see in our pictures, is up. And are very much trying to get their side ahead for the first time, not just this afternoon, but this season. Having been behind twice against Newcastle last Sunday. Here's Dominic Szoboszlai. Plays it off to Jeremy Jacquet. Jacquet now back to Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai will go for goal from distance, and I mean, it's comfortably over the bar. Anybody else should be saying, why are they shooting from there? That's not within their range. But Dominic Szoboszlai, we've seen from that sort of area trouble goalkeepers. Still not entirely sure whether that was a sensible decision to go for goal from there, but it's better than Van Dijk shooting from there.
Possibly, yeah. I'm with the it's a poor decision to have a shot there, because the whole Liverpool team are actually in attack, and you can dink it to the sideways or dink it over the top towards Isak, who's in a decent position, but have a shot from there, just give away. But as I said, he has scored from there before.
Munoz, far side, been fed well by Wirtz. Kirkis is on his inside, as is Florian Wirtz. Munoz cuts in on his right boot, lays it off to Wirtz. He goes back. Soberside thought about the shot from distance, instead tries to lay it off to Wirtz. Now an opportunity for Forest to come forward. It's Jair, the centre half, driving down the far side. Feeds Igor Jesus. He's out muscled though by Jacque and forced wide. Good play though from the Brazilian to hold on to it. That is until he has his pocket picked and sees the ball put out of play for a throw-in on the far side. Quickly taken though by Gibbs-White back to Ola Aina. Gravenberg and Engamoa have now been sent to re-warm up, so it looks like they're definitely set to come on. Not sure about Simicast as ball chips into the penalty. It isn't brilliantly dealt with by Frimpong. Van Dijk though calmly will nod back to Allison. I think Van Dijk wanted Allison straight away to come out and gather. He does well enough, though, the Liverpool skipper, to nod back to Allison, who, let's not forget, kept Liverpool in this just before half-time with a brilliant save to deny Dan and Doy inside the box. Frimpong now, back to McAllister. He's been wasteful in possession in midfield. You'd assume he's the one to come off for Ryan Gravenberg this afternoon, as that's a poor ball forward. Is that William Delap getting ready to come on? Yes, it is. Mentioned in the pre-game, Amble signed for £50 million from Chelsea. Nottingham Forest record transfer, Liam Delap. Eric, you'll have seen a lot of him in Ipswich. What can he offer Nottingham Forest in this game that maybe Igor Jesus hasn't so far?
I think basically the ball over was just going to break off, and almost a chance for Isak with a cross into the box. Poor first touch from Isak. But Delap, what he has basically, what Jesus don't have, is basically if he gets the right side of the defenders, you don't shrug Delap off. They don't fall on the floor just with a bit of touch. If he gets goal side of the defenders, he can just go all the way towards goal, and it's a strong. It's better in the air as well. And I'm pretty sure that Delap will be a regular starter for Forest once he's sort of in the system proper. They're just recently signed.
It's actually not going to be Igor Jesus that comes off for Liam Delap. It's the goal scorer Dan Ndoye who departs. So a first appearance in Forest colours for Liam Delap. Maybe slightly surprising that it's Ndoye that comes off, given he's probably been the best of the front three so far this afternoon. But on comes Delap, wearing the number 19 shirts. It looks like Igor Jesus maybe shuffled out to the left-hand side.
Yeah, it must either that or maybe Gibbs-White is playing a bit more of a defensive role, because Ndoye, he was full of energy and he created, obviously scored a goal, and I'm surprised about that. Possibly it could have been injured.
Liverpool coming forward once again down the far side with Victor Munoz, trying to skip away from Gibbs-White, just well to cut in on his right boot. All three of those aforementioned changes of Simicast, Gravenberg and Engamoa are all now ready to come on. Iraola has decided that those are the changes he does definitely want to make. And as Gakpo gets the ball on this near side and fires out of play over on the far side for a throw. Liverpool aren't happy because they were ready to make those changes as with this ball out of play now on the far side, and Iraola's furious because the fourth official hasn't got the boards ready to make the changes. I mean, I tell you what, if anything happens before these changes are made, Iraola will be absolutely furious because how can you not have the boards ready? These changes were ready 5 minutes ago.
He's already furious, Iraola. It would be even worse if they score. Obviously, they just gave the ball away now, but Liverpool now obviously got to try and play. They can't just play the ball away out for a throw-in to get the substitutions going. So play on, and next time ball goes out of play, you assume it will be a substitution now with an overhead pass towards Munoz on the left-hand side, and the substitution will happen.
They're still not ready to go. Iraola is absolutely furious on the touchline. The fourth official is still trying to sort out the boards to make these changes. Iraola cannot believe what is going on, and credit to Forest, they've taken that throw in quickly to give it no chance for these changes to be made. Here's Nico Williams now down the near side. Ball looking towards Delap for his first touch in the Forest shirt. Jacque puts the initial challenge in, but it's out of play for a throw. The Delap hits quickly, and he feeds Nico Williams. The strike comes in. Allison's brought him down. What's the referee given? Penalty to Forest. The penalty is given. Sam Barrett blows the whistle. Allison came flying out after the quick throw-in was taken. He caught Nico Williams after the strike was taken towards goal. I'm not entirely sure whether that means that the foul cannot be given. Allison is absolutely furious with the decision from Sam Barrett. This has been a farce from an official's point of view for the changes for Liverpool. Not that I think it would have changed a huge amount. I mean, he certainly catches Nico Williams. Yeah, it's just whether it's deemed as Nico Williams shooting or whether that was a cross into the box. I'm pretty sure if he shot, that can't be given as a foul.
Yeah, because they changed the rules with that basically. When you get a shot in, but it's a foul. It was a shot that basically looks like a cross.
Absolutely furious, Alisson. He's absolutely livid, and it looks like VAR have checked it, and the penalty has indeed been given. If Liverpool go on, as Alisson's just been yellow carded, if Liverpool go on to lose this game, both Alisson and Andoni Iraola will absolutely explode with the officials. Now, I think Nico Williams has gotten away with getting that penalty because the ball has gone, no disrespect to him, so far wide of the post that it's looked like he's trying to cross the ball. He's absolutely shooting there, which in my opinion means that, according to the rules, if I'm not mistaken, that should be a penalty. The bigger issue is the fact that Liverpool have been waiting for 5 minutes to make changes effectively, and the fourth official still didn't have the boards ready so that Liverpool could make those changes.
You couldn't make it up, and we looked at the fourth official pressing the button on the board. Obviously, it's not working. And but what led to that? It was very good play by Liam Delap. He lets the ball go out for the throat and takes it really quickly.
Yeah.
And with the view. That's just going to break off. The penalty is going to be taken.
Great introduction for Liam Delap. It's Morgan Gibbs-White. He's not had the best of games to step up to take it, having assisted the first from the penalty spot. He gets the second. Forest regain their lead. 20 minutes to go in this one. It's Liverpool 1, Nottingham Forest 2. Gibbs-White from the penalty spot, and all to do once more for the Reds. They equalised last weekend against Newcastle and looked the better of the two sides having equalised. Newcastle then on the counter-attack made it 2-1. Forest have done similar. I mean, Liverpool are absolutely furious. Forest delighted. Liverpool 1, Forest 2. And again, it's all to do for Andoni Iraola's side.
Absolutely. It's a great penalty. It's in the corner. It probably wouldn't have been saved even if Alisson goes the right way. But yeah, that's a farce. But what you can't do is nothing to do with Forest. It wasn't Forest that there wasn't unsportsmanship.
No,
Forest
Forest have done exactly what they needed to do. And do you know what? Credit to them. It's very, very, very impressive from Nottingham Forest. Very clever. I will say as well, I think more frustration for Alisson with that penalty is there is such little contact on Nico Williams. Whether it's enough to send him down like that, I'm not too sure. But it's certainly a controversial goal for Nottingham Forest as the substitutions for Liverpool are now finally able to be made. It's Ryan Gravenberch, it's Rio Ngamoa, and it's, I believe, Kostas Tsimikas as well coming on. Yeah, it is. It's all three of them now finally being made. McAllister, one of those to come off. It looks as though potentially Gakpo another. And I think, yeah, Milos Kerkez the third. I'll confirm those for definite in a second once we have confirmation, but I'm not seeing Cody Gakpo. In fact, it can't be Alexis McAllister that's gone off because he's still on the field. It's Kerkez, Frimpong and Gakpo that have gone off. So Soboslai slotted in a right back, and it's Tsimikas, Gravenberch and Ngamoa that have come on. And it's a roll of the dice that it's got to work for Andoni Iraola.
Well, it's that Frimpong is taken off. If Liverpool had like a proper good replacement, he would have been subbed off in the first half, I think, because it's been shocking defensively. Going forward, it's been okay-ish. Gravenberch, Gakpo being taken off, I can't understand why. At least he's created a goal, and he was actually taking the game two for us. So I'm surprised about that, barring obviously an injury, which we don't know about. But yeah, it's a roll of the dice. It's a bit of a risk for Iraola, but something's going to happen.
Yeah, something has indeed got to happen for Liverpool in this one. Otherwise, Andoni Iraola will be losing his first game at Anfield in charge of Liverpool. Here's Igor Jesus now trying to turn away from trouble. Will feed Nico Williams down the near side. Lovely flick from Nico Williams to try and release Igor Jesus. Well read though by Soboslai, who slotted into that right back position that he so often played last season. Here's Alexis McAllister now for the home side. Into Gravenberch. To Van Dijk now. Fire it over onto the far side for Victor Munoz. Has Tsimikas in support. Instead we'll go back to Florian Wirtz. 50 yards out now. It's with Jacquet. Jacquet onto the near side for Ngamoa. Wants to run at his man. Will get a run at his man. Tries to cross the ball in with his right boot. It's dealt with relatively well initially. Then Jacquet does well to step in and win the ball back. Ball towards the back post, headed away well by Aina. Tsimikas on his weaker right boot. Oh, he's kicked that straight into the ground and then ultimately straight into the hands of Matt Sells. There's a number of players on this pitch that are capable of scoring goals for Liverpool this afternoon. Tsimikas on his right boot on the half volley on the edge of the penalty area. Probably not top of that list.
Yeah, really poor shot, but now it's just going to almost break off. Szoboszlai does really well as right back against Delap this time, and Liverpool get a ball again. Yeah, it fell to the wrong player after Igor Jesus has given the ball away in the middle. He started dribbling inside his own half, and now Liverpool ball over the top towards Isak.
Isak chasing after this one, looking to try and bring it down up against Milenkovic. He's run that straight out of play for a goal kick, the Swedish international, and you can just see some grimaces of fans in the Kenny Dalglish stand behind him. It's one of those where I think last season he almost got a free pass, Alexander Isak, and probably rightly so. Having not had a pre-season and then broken his leg, it was always going to be tricky for him to really settle into the Liverpool side and ever look at his best. So far to start the season, he's looked anything but his best, and today has been probably one of his worst performances in a Liverpool shirt, despite even getting the goal. I mean, the goal, you never lose that ability as a striker to be in the right place at the right time, but he's just not looked anywhere near up to it this afternoon, Alexander Isak, and there aren't many in the Liverpool shirt that have done. Olerainen now in possession for Nottingham Forest. Under pressure from Victor Munoz, we'll go back to Matt Sells. Sells will launch a long ball over the top looking towards Jacquet. Was he fouled there by Delap? Referee says yes. Igor Jesus not overly happy with the decision. Referee will get play going with the free kick. Ronald Araujo and Trey Nioni, the final two changes being readied by Andoni Raiola on the near side. Centre half and a centre midfielder when trailing by 2-1. It's probably not the changes that Andoni Raiola would have been looking to make. Munoz skips away from a couple, brought down from behind. Referee, I thought, blown for a free kick, but waves play on. And play on continue now with Forest coming forward down the far side. Munoz will be absolutely furious. Sam Barrett's just gestured that he dived there. Now, if Victor Munoz had dived, that's a yellow card and he should be off.
Well, it's,
so either he realises he should have given a free kick and is now saying no, you dived, or he's missed a sending off.
Yeah, possibly.
Either is bad.
I don't think most referees have the bottle to do that anyway, but that's the letter of the law you're talking about that, Luke. And Munoz, when he didn't get a free kick, he was up waving his arms again, which technically is also a yellow card, but I'm personally glad that he's not given a yellow card, but because that would have been farcical. But he could easily have done it.
I'm not sure I've seen a yellow card for waving arms on the floor, but he did get his first yellow card for his protestations, Victor Munoz. Ronald Araujo has indeed entered the field of play. He comes on for his Anfield debut for Jeremy Jacquet, and Trey Nioni has also come onto the field. He comes on to replace Alexis McAllister. Here is the Uruguayan now down the near side, linking up with Engamo. A ball towards the back post is over the heads of everybody, including Virgil van Dijk. So that was always going to be too high, and out of play for a goal kick. Interesting changes, Eric. Nioni is still very, very young, still very raw, but every time he plays for Liverpool, he impresses with his technical ability. Centre half for centre half is not a change you tend to see made when you're trailing by 2-1.
But I think both he's subbed up both Jacquet and Frimpong in the defence have been subbed off. They've been a liability all day for Liverpool, so I can understand that Araujo will come on for Jacquet, and so it'd be interesting to see. Like McAllister's gone off, he's been slow today, so I would have kept for a Liverpool interview. I would have kept Gakpo on, and Szoboszlai is needed in midfield, but he's at the right back now, so it's not ideal, but at least they're using a substitution. They're trying.
Nioni into Szoboszlai, great ball in towards the near post. Isak misses it, and I think is out of play for a corner. Yeah, it is. Liverpool players getting their appeals heard. Great ball in from Dominic Szoboszlai, completely missed by Alexander Isak as he tries to divert it towards goal. And in fact, I think it is indeed a goal kick. I think they were half-hearted appeals, as Isak knew he hadn't got a touch. And out of play for a goal kick. Let's have a look at the replay now. Yeah, the famous touches from Isak, which made it look like maybe it taken a nick off of a Forest man. Long ball over the top from Matt Sells from the goal kick. It's headed back by Van Dijk to Nioni. To Alisson to Van Dijk again, and Nioni into Van Dijk. Not a great pass from the youngster, but Van Dijk does well turn away from the challenge. Gravenberch then does brilliantly well to hold onto the ball, and he's now set free Munoz down the near side on his favoured right. One-on-one with Nico Williams. What can he do? Cuts inside, fancies Yeffer on his left boot. The space opened up for a shot, then Soboslai ran in front of him, and all of a sudden the door shut with sky blue shirts flooding back. And there goes the end of that move. Nioni bodied by Igor Jesus, and then Araujo fouls the Brazilian, and that's going to be his yellow card. He's now touched the ball 3 times and been yellow carded once. Quite impressive from the man on loan from Barcelona. It's just far too weak from Trey Nioni, and then Araujo does what he has to do.
Araujo takes the yellow card because that could have been a one-on-one with a goalkeeper, but it's on the halfway line on the sideline, so it was never a question of a red card as the last man. But yeah, Nioni, basically he lost the ball. He should never get Jesus for that run, but now free kicks taken towards the lap.
Long ball sent down the near side for Liam Delap. Thought he was fouled there by Dominic Soboslai. Referee says no, does he? Yeah, no, he's given the free kick. Delayed. And that'll be a foul for Nottingham Forest, exactly where they want it, deep inside Liverpool territory. 10 minutes to go at Anfield. Independent off-tube studio-based commentary. It's Liverpool 1, Nottingham Forest 2. In fact, it was a throw-in given. It's near side, not the free kick. Nico Williams now. Chip ball into McAtee. Back to Murillo, fires the ball over onto the far side for Jair. Jair with the ball forward, looking towards Oleraina. Hats over, hits, and straight out of play for a goal kick, and Liverpool have possession back once more. Victor Munoz has moved onto the near side now to play down the right-hand side, and it's Engamoa over on the left, both now in their more natural positions. Engamoa will probably look to have a few runs at Oleraina and try and cause some issues that way. I think that's probably sensible from Andoni Iraola. We haven't seen anywhere near enough of Victor Munoz this afternoon. There's Van Dijk laid off to Araujo. Araujo down the near side for Soboslai. Back to Ronald Araujo once more. Square to Virgil van Dijk. To the far side now for Samikas. Down the line for Engamoa. One-on-one with Gibbs White. Going back inside to Nioni. Gravenberch now being hounded by Javier Schlager, who will be up there for me in terms of my man of the match. He's been absolutely superb this afternoon, along with Dan and Doy, who was brought off earlier on. I think Nico Williams has been fantastic, Jair as well, all potential man of the match winners, but I'm not sure any of them will care about it as long as they get the 3 points. Araujo down this near side for Soboslai. Back to Araujo once more. Options left and right, plays a nice ball forward to Vert. His first few touches in a while. Ball into Munoz, nice turn from him. Oh, what a goal! What a brilliant goal from Victor Munoz! What a way to announce yourself in your Anfield debut. First start for Liverpool, first goal for the Reds. Won the penalty last weekend for Soboslai to equalise. He's equalised himself this time around, and that is some finish from the Spaniard. Brilliant from Vert's in midfield. I said he's been quiet in the second half. Turned away brilliantly and played a wonderful ball through to Victor Munoz, and that is a brilliant finish from the World Cup winner to level things. Liverpool 2, Forest 2.
What a goal there! But first, the base to find to go get away from Schlager, and then the pass in towards Munoz, and his quick turn and a quick shot. That's all they needed at this level. Quick decisions, and it takes a slight deflection, hits the crossbar and goes in. No chance for the goalkeeper. And Liverpool again managed to come back for the 4th time this season. So now it's Delap going forward.
Delap coming forward for Forest, looking for the instant response. Strike comes in, great block from Ronald Araujo to deny Delap a debut goal for his new side. Eric's right, it's 4 times now this season in 2 games that Liverpool have come back from behind to level things. Not quite the late show as it was last weekend. So there is still time for one of these 2 sides to win it, and it wouldn't surprise me if one of them did. But Liverpool potentially set for a second 2-2 draw in a row, and how they've had to work for it this afternoon. They'll have to continue working. Corner to be swung in by Nico Williams on the near side. It's a good ball in, punched away well by Alisson, then headed back in by Schlager, bounces through to Alisson, and Liverpool now will get on their bike to try and come forward. Alisson, long launch ball down the near side, looking towards Munoz. It's hung up in the air, but Wirtz will bring it down well. Although Einer's read the touch nicely and plays it down the line for Nico Williams. Williams inside looking for Jesus. He's been challenged well by Nioni. Good play from the midfielder. Munoz now turns it around the corner for Wirtz. Wirtz has got options on the left. Tries to feed Gravenberg. Not a great pass from him. McAtee reads it well through the legs of Nioni. Now Delap can drive forward. Delap trying to play it onto the far side again. Araujo blocks it well. And Liverpool can restart from their Brazilian goalkeeper and get possession moving once more. He's clearly rash, Ronald Araujo. He clearly finds himself in some awkward positions. But by the early signs suggest he reads the game of football really quite well, as you'd expect from a Barcelona captain. I'll bring Eric in a minute. Engmo has done brilliantly over on the far side, skip away from his man. Then Gravenberg's been fouled on the edge of the box. All of a sudden, Liverpool are going to spring in their step.
Absolutely, and yeah, it's a bit of an end-to-end, and Liverpool now, when they win the ball, and the defence actually go forward. Free kick, they've a hand in the face, maybe from Milenkovic on Gravenberg.
He's really struggled this afternoon, hasn't he, Milenkovic?
He has, yeah.
Because on a number of occasions he's been the deepest of the back three. Questions again as to whether Liverpool were offside in the goal that they scored. But Munoz was played onside by Milenkovic being deeper than everybody in the back three. He's had a tricky afternoon, has the Serbian defender. There's an opportunity now for Liverpool to go ahead for the first time, not just this afternoon, but this season. 5-man wall being set up by Matt Sells in front of his goal. It's 20-25 yards out for Dominic Szoboszlai, 25 more like. Angle to the left-hand side of the D. It's very much within shooting range for him. Kostas Tsimikas is standing over it as well. I don't think the Greek international is going to have any chance of hitting this.
Obviously
I think this is nailed on for Szoboszlai to hit, and he will hit. Oh, I think Matt Sells has pulled off a great save, or he's just flashed wide of the post. He went keeper side, Dominic Szoboszlai. Let's have a look from the ref cam. No, he doesn't take a nick off of Szoboszlai. It's wide of the post in the end, but he struck that ferociously, the Hungarian, and that wasn't a million miles away from giving him his second of the season.
Yes, it's a decent effort. You see what he's tried to do. He's hoping Sells will take that step to the right and behind the wall, that basically what he didn't do, because that was against Leeds. So that was almost identical to the position when Leeds United scored late on against Forest. The German nets have come on now for Forest. But yeah, I think we've got 5 minutes to go. It's been an extremely entertaining game. The quality hasn't been the best. There have been a lot of personal mistakes from both sides, mainly Liverpool in midfield, but for a neutral, it's been fantastic entertainment.
Oh, it's been brilliant from a neutral point of view, it has to be said. Just confirm that change that Eric just mentioned, by the way. Luca Nets on Ola Aina off. Defensive change made by Oliver Glasner as his side try and hold on to this point away from home at Anfield. That's a great move from Delap down the near side, challenged well by Araujo, and then Liverpool will win the throw on the near side. Delap has looked dangerous since coming on, it has to be said, for Nottingham Forest. I think playing for a side like Nottingham Forest will suit him better than playing for Chelsea. You know, very much often when he was at Ipswich, the underdog having to battle hard to try and get some sort of result. At Chelsea, you're expected to play like João Pedro, knock the ball around nicely, link up with midfield well, and it's just not his game at all. And he started brightly since coming off the bench in the second half this afternoon. Long ball sent forward towards Alexander Isak is overhit, straight through to Matt Sells, cleared by the Belgian goalkeeper towards the lap. He loses out, then Engamo loses out on the far side up against Luca Nets, who will try and skip away from his man before being challenged well by Van Dijk. Nioni needs to get rid of this ball. He's under pressure from Nico Williams over on that far side. We'll go back into the 6-yard box for Alisson. Alisson will then play Ronald Araujo, who will step forward towards halfway and fire a great ball into midfield for Gravenberg. First time pass to Tsimikas is a nice one. And now here's Engamoa down the far side. An opportunity for him to run at nets for the first time this afternoon. Cuts in on his right boot, looking towards Wirtz. It's straight at the feet of Milenkovic, and he'll clear down the other end of the field. 2.5 minutes to go in normal time in Anfield. Independent off-tube studio-based commentaries. Liverpool 2, Nottingham Forest 2. I reckon there'll be a readable chunk of extra time at the end of this one, at least 4 or 5 minutes. As Szoboszlai now down the near side is held up well by Igor Jesus. Araujo will cross over onto the far side for Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk will play it back into Ronald Araujo. Araujo down the near side for Szoboszlai. Thought about the chip into the box, held up well though by Nets. Now Araujo once more, ball fired over onto the far side for Tsimikas. Lovely touch from the man on loan who was on loan at Roma last season. Wirtz Skips away initially from Schlager, but loose touch allows McAtee to put the challenge in. He'll then go all the way back to Sells, who will fire a ball over the top down the near side for Igor Jesus to chase. Soboslai will gather and just knock it back to Allison. Sensible pass back from the Hungarian. Allison now out to Virgil van Dijk, looking for options around him. Hasn't really got anybody showing. He's asking for Simicast to drop shorter. Instead, he'll use Nioni into Araujo. Soboslai wanted to play Munoz down the near side. Instead, he'll have to go back into Ronald Araujo. Van Dijk, ball over onto the far side for Engamoa. Engamoa fancies a run at Nico Williams. He's surrounded by 3 in sky blue. In the end, Gibbs White puts the challenge in, and Gibbs White will just launch long. And you get the feeling now, for however much stoppage time we have added on at the end of this one, it is just going to be all Liverpool with Forest backs to the wall.
Yeah, I think that started maybe like 5-6 minutes ago. Liverpool really want to win now after they got the equaliser, and Forest, I think for the first time in the game, they're like, okay, we got a point. We were taking a point before the game, and let's protect what we got. And they are sitting deeper and deeper now. And Liverpool, they play much better football after the substitution. They play the combination play is better. Engamoa on the left hand side, at least he has the ability to run at defenders and go forward again now with Wirtz.
Yeah, Wirtz, edge of the penalty area, forced backwards by Milenkovic initially, but will feed Soboslai edge of the box. Soboslai away from Igor Jesus, loose touch allows the challenge to come in from McAtee. Sam Barrett's just tackled Trey Nioni as he tries to step backwards. That was bizarre. He's had a weird game this afternoon, Sam Barrett, I have to say. Nothing outrageously bad, I don't think, from his point of view. I don't think his officials on either side of the pitch have helped him out massively, as Igor Jesus has brought down Dominic Soboslai there, and then potentially a little bit of a scuffle that Barrett's going to have to deal with. Soboslai having a few choice words with the Brazilian. It's 5 minutes added on at the end of this one. 5 minutes for either of these sides to go on to win it. You feel like if either team is going to win it, it would be Liverpool, just by the nature of the way that the end of this game has gone. Araujo lurking inside the penalty area will of course be one of the targets that Soboslai will aim for. Isak in there as well. Van Dijk being marked by Nico Williams. Engamoa at the back post. Needs to be a good ball in from Dominic Soboslai. Right footed ball towards the penalty spot. Heads go up, players go hit the ground, and that'll be a free kick for Nottingham Forest. Looked pretty innocuous inside the penalty area, but foul given by Sam Barrett. And a double change now being readied by Oliver Glasner. This is interesting. Callum Hudson-Odoi and Nicholas Dominguez both coming on. It's McAtee that's coming off for Dominguez. That's understandable. And then Hudson-Odoi, you'd assume maybe for Igor Jesus. But attacking changes, and it is Jesus that comes off for Hudson-Odoi.
It's not defensive as you may want to think when protecting this lead, but it's just fresh legs, and then like for like tactically with Hudson-Odoi not going to play his normal game, which is an attacking winger, attacking midfielder. So Jason McAtee. Yeah, you just given the player of the match. He's my player of the match as well. So you don't agree with me.
I mean, look, if you're picking a man of the match out of the midfield of Nottingham Forest, David Schlagers, I think, has had a much better game than James McAtee. But hey, each to their own. I
was looking at Schlager. Schlager was sort of at fault of the second goal. He didn't get close enough to Wirtz, and Wirtz could. But it's McAtee. It's when he's picked up the ball and the creativeness.
He's looked back towards his best, hasn't he, James McAtee, this afternoon, which is good to see. Forest have got a bit of defending to do now, though, with Engamoa in possession over on the far side. Corner of the penalty area will go back to Van Dijk. Araujo now down the near side for Soboslai. No real options in front of him, so we'll have to go back to Araujo. Liverpool, I have to say, since getting that equaliser, have basically passed the ball side to side for 10 minutes now. I mean, they've made no real inroads since Victor Munoz's goal, which will be a little bit concerning if I was Andoni Iraola. I'll break off because Araujo now in possession will try and step forward and feed Trey Nioni. Nioni now forward to Munoz. Oh, he's done brilliantly well. He's away from Luca Nets. Munoz, ball looking towards the penalty area. Cleared away well by Murillo. Isak was lurking, but it's defended well by the Brazilian. Ball chipped to the back post by Sobosai. Not a bad one, not convincingly dealt with. Engamoa lays it off. Gravenberg tries to turn away from his man. Delap back doing some defensive work. Deals with the pressure. And Schlager will play it out to Hudson-Odoi down the near side. Hudson-Odoi trying to skip away from Nioni. Brilliant challenge comes in from the Liverpool midfielder, not once but twice, and forces Hudson-Odoi back to Luca Nets, who will go over the top for Delap. Araujo though reads it brilliantly. That's excellent from Ronald Araujo, and just muscles Delap off the ball and allows Van Dijk to gather possession. I tell you what, I was critical of the decision to bring him on for Jeremy Jacquet, but he just looks so cool at the back, doesn't he?
Much better. Jeremy Jacquet, he was struggling from the first minute, and the way he just shrugged the lap off the ball. They're just shielding the player and the ball, and Van Dijk can just pick it up. And there's a minute left now. Liverpool, they've passed it now for 10 minutes, but they are creating.
Engamoa, ball to the back post, looking towards Wirtz. That's headed up into the air by Murillo and gathered well by Matt Sells. Good goalkeeping from the Belgian, who's looked a little bit nervy with crosses into the box this afternoon. But has dealt with that one well, and will just pump clear to relieve the pressure from Forest. But it's not a great clearance, flicked on well in the end though by Dominguez. Sobosai will nod back towards the halfway line where Wirtz will battle for it. Delap gets a hold of possession, and eventually Hudson-Odoi can come away with it down the near side. Munoz does brilliantly well to get back at him, and then is he fouled by Hudson-Odoi? Referee Sam Barrett says yes, free kick for Liverpool. He's looked so much better on the right hand side, Victor Munoz,
just
hasn't
say,
he?
Luke, basically, since his move to the right, he could be player of the match. As in, he wasn't very good on the left,
better,
but he was the way he just fought back there even defensively. He didn't do that on the left in the first half. Yeah, but last chance there for Liverpool, about seconds left.
Dying embers of the game. Araujo, long ball over the top looking towards Engamoa, headed away well by Williams. Schlager will then gather in midfield and bring it forward for Forest. Simicas has fouled the Austrian, and that will probably be that for this afternoon. What a game they've had at Anfield on Merseyside today. Brilliant lunchtime kickoff in the Premier League to get the weekend started. It was Dan and Doy who gave Nottingham Forest the lead earlier on in the first half after 24 minutes. Liverpool equalised after the hour mark through Alexander Isak, his first goal of the season, before 10 minutes later Forest went back ahead through a Morgan Gibbs-White penalty. Well, Victor Munoz with his first goal for Liverpool leveled things right at the death. And that, once again, will be that. More frustration for Liverpool, more frustration for Forest, but the point shared, and deservedly so, at Anfield. Full time, it's finished Liverpool 2, Nottingham Forest 2.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting markets, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck! Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio